One Sunday morning, Mrs. Leonore was sitting on the patio of her house. She had had breakfast early and was relaxed, observing her plants before the heat punished the inhabitants of Santa Marta. Her young and beautiful granddaughter, Paula, came to sit beside her. Always curious and loving, she said, "Grandma, can you tell me one of those beautiful stories you know?" Mrs. Leonore, always obliging with her grandchildren, replied, "With much pleasure, Paula. Today, I will explain a very beautiful story that illustrates the thinking of a wise man named Confucius." Paula opened her eyes wide and asked, "Who is Confucius?" Grandma Leonore began, many years ago, more than 2,500 years ago, in a small, very distant kingdom called Lu, in ancient China, lived an exceptional man named Confucius. Confucius was not a king or a warrior. He had no castle or magic sword. His greatest treasure was his wisdom. His dream was to make the world a better place by teaching people to be kinder, more just, and more loving. From a young age, he loved to study and learn. He had no riches, but he had something much more valuable: a curious heart and an immense desire to understand the world. He liked to observe everything that happened around him, how people spoke, how they solved their problems, how they helped each other, or how they fought. And he wondered, how can we all live in peace and be happier? When he grew up, Confucius became a great teacher. He went from town to town, teaching very important things like respecting others, especially parents, grandparents, and teachers, always telling the truth and acting justly, thinking about how our actions affect others. One of his most famous phrases is, "Do not do to others what you would not want them to do to you," which is like saying, treat others with the same affection you want them to treat you with. Confucius did not care if someone was rich or poor, young or old. For him, everyone could learn, and everyone could improve every day. He believed that true greatness was not in having many things, but in having a kind heart and a wise mind. He wrote many teachings that, even today, more than 2,500 years later, continue to help people around the world live better lives. His words are like small seeds of wisdom that, if you plant them in your heart, dear Paula, can grow a great tree of kindness. Some of his magical phrases are, "Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." "One, learning without thinking is useless. Thinking without learning is dangerous." Confucius was, is, and will be one of humanity's great gardeners, sowing ideas that invite us to be better people every day. And you, dear Paula, now that you know about him, can also apply his wisdom in your own garden of magical thoughts. "Wow," said young Paula, amazed. Mrs. Leonore continued with a smile, "Now I will give you a summary of his philosophy or way of thinking in a beautiful story called The Garden of Magical Thoughts. Once upon a time, in a small town full of bright rivers and golden fields, lived a young girl named Paula, just like you. Paula was curious, dreamy, and had such a big imagination that sometimes she seemed to live in two worlds, the real one and the world of dreams. She loved to invent stories, draw treasure maps, and look at the stars, wondering what lay beyond. But sometimes, when things didn't go as she expected, Paula felt her world darken. If a drawing didn't turn out well, she thought, "I'm no good at this." If she lost a game, she said to herself, "I'm bad at everything." And when someone didn't understand her, she thought, "Nobody loves me." One day, after a particularly sad afternoon when she broke her favorite skates, Paula walked away from the town. She walked and walked until she reached a forest she had never been to before. There, under a large, ancient oak tree, sat a woman with silver hair and eyes as bright as the dawn. She wore a large, colorful tunic that seemed to be made of petals and stars. Seeing Paula, she said, "Hello, little traveler of hearts, I was waiting for you." "Me?" Paula asked. "Yes," the woman smiled. "My name is Teacher Veronica, and I know you have come looking for answers. I just want to understand why I sometimes feel so sad," said Paula, lowering her gaze. Teacher Veronica stroked the ground with her staff, and suddenly, a small golden flower sprouted. She said to Paula, "You feel sad because your heart is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant every day." Paula's eyes widened. "A garden? Inside me?" "That's right," said Teacher Veronica, "and I'm going to teach you how to take care of it. I will tell you 3 secrets. The first secret is, you choose which seeds to plant." Teacher Veronica showed her 2 bags, one full of shiny golden seeds, and the other of dark seeds. She said, "Every thought you have is a seed. When you think, 'I can't,' you plant a seed of doubt. When you think, 'I can,' you plant a seed of strength." "And what happens to the dark seeds?" Paula asked. "If you plant many dark seeds," explained Teacher Veronica, "weeds will grow, fear, sadness, anger. And then it will be difficult to see flowers." Paula understood that every time she thought something beautiful, she was planting a flower in her heart. From that day on, she decided to start each morning by choosing a golden seed. She would say to herself, "Today I will smile. Today I will try something new. Today I will be brave." The second secret is, not everything will turn out perfect, and that's perfectly fine. One afternoon, while Paula was trying to build a branch house in the forest, the structure kept falling apart. Frustrated, she was about to cry. Teacher Veronica appeared, smiling. "Have you noticed the branches? Each one has its own special shape. Some are twisted, others straight, others fragile. Well, that's how life is. And that's not bad. Sometimes the things that seem imperfect are what make everything more beautiful." Then Paula smiled, picked up twisted branches, and built a unique cabin, unlike any other. She learned that making mistakes was not failing. Making mistakes is just another way to learn. The third secret is, keep flowing like the river. On a walk through the forest, Paula came to a small river with clear water. Teacher Veronica asked her to sit and observe. "Look how the water moves. When it finds a large stone, it doesn't stop. It goes around it. When it finds a branch, it jumps over it. It always looks for a way to continue its path." Paula understood, that means I must also keep going when something tries to stop me. No matter how many stones I encounter, I can flow like the river. From then on, when something didn't go as she expected, Paula would say to herself, "I won't give up, I'll look for another way." Before leaving, Teacher Veronica gave Paula a small magic notebook. In it, she wrote special phrases to remember in any difficult moment. You are stronger than you imagine. Every small step is a great victory. Everything begins with a beautiful thought. It doesn't matter if today was difficult, tomorrow will be a new garden to plant. Be light even if the day is cloudy. Mistakes are not the end, they are the beginning of something better. "Here the story ends, dear Paula," said Grandma Leonor. "If you apply these values and thoughts in your life, you will begin to see changes, not only in yourself but also in others. You will spread your joy. When you take care of your inner garden, you help the gardens of others to bloom as well."